I am as a goth Mormon. Episode 1. I figured what better place to start than the part of myself that I love the very most and express myself with, which is my hair. Growing up, I was not allowed to have fun colored hair, if you will. However, credit where it's due, I was allowed to wear colorful hair extensions that I bought with my own money, and I particularly enjoyed the glow-in-the-dark ones, which I still have today. Now, the reason why my hair matters so much to me is because hair is expressive. You can do all kinds of things with it. You can wash it, cut it, change it up, and that's what I especially love about it. And I love that it can be changed into all these fun different colors, which I have loved since I was just a tiny little girl. Now, going back to me not being allowed to dye my hair. Yes, that was a very real thing. I was not allowed to dye my hair any kinds of fun or fashion colors as they're known by. And that lasted well until I had actually moved out. I was 20 years old when I finally decided to dye my hair the color that I always wanted to dye, which, fun fact, has gone full circle now, which is bright red. I remembered my stepfather saying every single year as we grew up in Vegas that I was gonna have to cut my hair all the way up to my ears because all the women were doing it. Newsflash, no they weren't. No woman in Vegas actually does that every summer. It was just a means of control. And every year I would get that threat over and over again. And it would go as far as to telling the family stylist, and I would tell her no. Thankfully, she did respect my boundary and she never ended up going through with that. When I dyed my hair when I was 20 years old, it was a big change. I had never done something like that before and it was definitely a shock, but I loved it. It felt just so fun and freeing, expressive, and it was a color that I really enjoy wearing. Hence, I'm going back to the color that I originally had. Just a month or two after I finally took the courage to dye my hair red, I went back to visit my family. Oh, and let me tell you, that was not met with kind reciprocation. Just a few days after returning home from my trip, I got a FaceTime call. That phone call, specifically from my stepfather, told me what an embarrassment I am to the family, that I looked like a clown and I looked ridiculous. I needed to dye it back because I was causing shame to the family. He was saying that his friends and co-workers thought I looked ridiculous and that it was really embarrassing for him. You know, being really young and being told something like that absolutely crushed me. I did consider dyeing my hair back to blonde. However, as you can see, years down the road, that never ended up happening. I have kept the fun colors all the way through. I don't dye my hair in fashion colors as a means to be rebellious. Instead, I use it as a means of self-expression and art. Since then, my stepfather has never apologized for the comments he made about my hair. And in fact, he's actually taken it many steps further, making comments about my weight, how I look, how I express myself, and what he thinks I should be doing with my life. It's not a universal rule when you're LDS that you cannot dye your hair, even though I have heard that many, many times. That was just a really toxic family rule that we had that continued on through my adult life. That being said, I'm going to continue to dye my hair beautiful colors because, again, I think it's a beautiful self-expression of art and I really enjoy having fun with it. It's just hair. It can be washed out.